Yeah, I want to talk about Naruto real quick. So I mean,
Oh, please.
I assume you watched all of it.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
What I'm
And I
gonna say
have the
was, I made
entire
a tweet.
manga, too.
Yeah, I made a tweet. Yeah, I've read the entire manga. I stopped watching anime. I think after um what's Asuma died, and then I was just reading the manga. So
That was such a sad
I made
episode.
a
Oh, my
tweet.
God.
I made a tweet that it would have made way more sense and would have been cooler if Lee and Sakura got together, and if they had a kid, the kid would be like the most OP ninja to ever exist, because he would have the strength of Sakura, whose strength is insane. He would have the taijutsu skill of Rock Lee, and not assuming 100% probably would teach him how to open the gates, and then if that kid also learns the 1,000 healing jutsu, they would be able to heal their bodies while they're in the gate, so that they would be able to display that level of enhanced strength that you get when you're in the gates, while not destroying their body, because they could heal themselves. Do you know how OP that kid would have been? And also, it made so much more sense, because Lee had a crush on her for so long, and Sasuke, I love him. He's a great character, but he's not a good person. You don't have to be a good person to be a good character. He's not a good. Don't you dare. He's not a good.
I would disagree that he's not a good person. I feel like he's a bad friend. I don't feel like he's a bad person, though. I feel like he's a bad friend.
I'm upset that you even are trying to argue that he's not a bad person.
Because all right, look at it this way.
Just because he was put into that situation because of what happened to him as a kid doesn't change the fact that he's a bad person.
All right, hear me out, right?
Even if you're forced into a situation, that doesn't change the reality of the situation.
Hear me out.
Go ahead.
The only bad thing I would say he did was try to kill Naruto.
He's tried to kill.
That's honestly, he didn't. No, that's not true. The only people he actively tried to kill were Orochimaru, who, let's admit it, deserved to get killed, because up until that point in the series was basically the main villain. He tried to kill Madara. He tried to kill Danzo. Danzo blatantly deserved it. Madara was blatantly a villain.
What do you mean tried? He
did kill Danzo. He did kill Danzo. Let me put it this way. Danzo tried to survive. Let's change that. Danzo tried to survive.
The people that matter, or who he tried to kill. He tried to kill the third Hokage. He tried to kill all the Kage. He tried to kill Naruto. He tried to kill Sakura. He tried to kill
the third Raikage. He tried to kill the third Raikage.
He tried to kill all of them.
But
he tried to kill all of them.
His goal wasn't to kill all of them. His goal was to kill Danzo. The third Raikage got in his way. But his goal wasn't to kill the Kage. His goal was to kill Danzo.
All of them got in his way, and he would have killed any one of them.
If they had gotten in his way, he would have killed them.
The third Raikage was just the only person that get in his way for the longest.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But the third Raikage wasn't his goal.
Kakashi, the third Raikage,
He didn't try to kill Sakura.
Killer Bee, he definitely tried to kill Sakura.
He didn't try to kill Sakura.
He
didn't. He hit her with a Getsu to get her out of his way so he would be able to fight Naruto without killing her. I feel like people really don't understand that fact. He didn't try to kill Sakura.
What was the redhead girl's name? The Uzumaki, Karen or something like that?
Oh, Karen? Yeah. He didn't try to kill her. She got in his way, inadvertently got in his way. Danzo put her in his way. But he was trying to kill Danzo. She just got in his way. But he was not trying to kill her. That was not his goal. He didn't try. He actually kept Sakura away from getting killed. I feel like people really don't.
But then, that's such a small thing. He still was, like you said, he was a horrible
friend. And he also didn't try to kill B. He was trying to capture B.
He was definitely a horrible friend. You're right.
He was trying to capture B.
You're right. He was trying to capture Killer B. But also, he's done a lot of bad things. Like, we can't pretend like he isn't a bad person.
He didn't. That's the thing. Like, even when he was,
his reason, the reason he got to that point, even though he was essentially forced into the situation, doesn't change the fact that he was going to kill everyone. He was going to destroy the Hidden Leaf Village. That was his goal at one point.
That was at the That was the worst thing he did, but that was at the end, and that was everything else he did up to that point wasn't necessarily bad though. And he had a very logical reason. He had a very logical reason.
So did Thanos.
Okay, but Thanos wasn't a bad person. He was just going about it in the wrong way.
He was going planet to planet.
He's not a bad person.
He was going planet to planet, killing half the people on the planet. See, look, no, this conversation.
And he had a reason to do it. He had a very logical reason.
Now you're justifying.
He had a very logical reason.
And you justify
Thanos was the good guy.
You justifying Thanos.
I'm not just okay.
Tells me everything I need to know about how you feel about Sasuke. Because I love Sasuke. He's my second favorite character after Kakashi. But he was not.
Thanos is not. Thanos was not a bad.
Can we both?
Thanos just did a bad thing.
Can we both agree that he definitely shouldn't have been with Sakura?
Yes, but I feel like our reasons are different.
Because for me,
I feel like our reasons are much different.
It's two things. One, first off, is Sakura is just like, why? Why would she want to be with a person who was shown to be, like you said, a horrible friend to her and Naruto?
He is a horrible friend. I will admit.
Trying their damnness to get him back. And why did he decide to do it? That's what I'm confused about. Because, like we said,
I have a very.
It makes sense. Like it would have been.
I have a theory behind that.
If he actually did end up with Karen, or honestly, I think he should have just been single and like just had a kid out of wedlock. It would have made way more sense.
I definitely agree that he should.
If one day he was just traveling and he was horny, he went and had sex with someone, and then he had a kid but didn't know he had a kid. That would have made way more sense.
I would like that.
Like a
that would make way more
like
sense.
A random kid came to the village and they had a shotgun and we're just like, who's this person? That would way more sense. Like I think he should.
That would make a lot more sense. That would make a lot more narrative sense too.
Yeah, I think he should have stayed single or ended up with someone who we don't know. Because all the people that he did know, it made no sense why any of them would ever want anything to do with him ever again outside of being friends. Because anything further than that is clearly not a good idea.
My thing is though, with Sakura, I'm not gonna say that I feel like he loved her up until they were adults. I don't even know that I would say he was really attracted to her up until they were adults. I feel like, people who are like, I don't want a relationship because I'm more focused on my career.
Yeah.
I feel like Sasuke was like that. He was like, I want to focus on my revenge, so he can't really get sidetracked. And I feel like he was like that all the way up until they were adults. And now here's where it has me really messed up. In Boruto, you have to do this. By the time Sasuke is an adult, by the end of the original Naruto Shippuden, is on a path to redeem himself and to become a much better person. You have to admit that yourself.
Yeah,
yes. By Boruto, I would say he's a fairly decent person. He's a pretty good human being. He protects Konoha from the shadows. He goes on shadow missions and all that stuff.
He's a better person.
Here's what has me messed up. Sakura is blatantly emotionally abusive to this man by the time they're adults and married, and she's like, let me think about it. She blatantly insults his intelligence. She blatantly, I believe it was the manga that she called him a bad father, which I'll admit he's a bad father, but he's also a working man who has a job. It's not as if he was at home in the village, I'm 100% sure he would be there for Sadara. It's not like he's purposefully avoiding his family. He just has a job to do, and his job has him traveling a lot. It's not like he's purposefully being negligent to his child. And she's insulted his intelligence. She has insulted him as a human. It's just
for me, and honestly,
it's a little late to do all that.
What really makes their relationship suck for me is that it's just all around toxic on both ends, and they shouldn't have got together. Neither of them are good for each other.
They shouldn't.
I don't understand why that was a choice.
Right.
And I feel like it would have made way more sense for Lee and Sakura, because I feel like they could have actually built a connection, because they actually did eventually become friends, and it would have made more sense if they ended up together. And like I said, it would make more sense if...
I feel like Sakura is a trash human being.
Yeah, I feel like, that's Kishimoto's fault mostly, honestly. There was this video that this dude posted about how 1010 could have been such a better character if Kishimoto just actually wrote decent like women in his manga, because she basically had the potential to wield a lot of really powerful ninja tools that were basically always like like it's like a lot of characters that he kind of just threw away for the sake of Naruto and Sasuke. Like Lee and Neji, Jesus Christ, he disrespected both of them heavy. He like did not care about Lee or Neji after the first part of Naruto. He just gave up on them. Yeah. And it makes me sad because Lee was one of my, he still is.
Tamari?
Go ahead. What were you saying?
Tamari is my favorite, totally in my top 5 favorite characters from Naruto. She is very well written. What I don't understand is how she is from a village that's not the main village, is not technically part of the main cast, and is better written than all the women in the main cast. So I'm like,
you're absolutely
this one child from the Sand Village, she and Shikamaru become a and basically like she's written almost perfectly in my eyes because of her relationship with Shikamaru, and like she enhances Shikamaru enhances her, and like they're perfect. They're like, I'm not gonna say they're perfectly written characters. I feel like no character is completely perfectly written, but like she's better written than all the women in the main cast. Like she's written very consistently. She's written very well. She has great motivations. It's just like,
yeah,
like why couldn't she just be part of the main cast? Why not why not like introduce an entirely new like main cast of women and then have Tamari be like the only one left?
And for me, it's just that all of that, like he could have just written all of the characters that, all of the girls that way, because for him, he was just, there's a lot of people saying that he might be like misogynistic and stuff like that, which honestly might be true based on the way he wrote those characters. But also, Kishimoto, he tries to use the excuse of he doesn't know how to write women, which is not an excuse, because writing a woman isn't that different from writing a man. And he tries to make it seem like it's the most difficult thing in the world, when everybody's like, dude, it's not that deep. We're all human. All humans, to an extent, think very similarly.
And act the same.
If you can write a man, you can write a woman, there are very little differences. Like stop, like he's trying to make these genders feel like they're two different animals and like creatures, like women are aliens from some far-off world. They're not. They're humans, just like all the men. And you could write them as human beings who actually have personality and are actually significant to the story. Unlike, and not just like crying because like Sakura, she became a decent character at the beginning of Shippuden, and then once again, he threw away all of that character development. And it's hilarious at the very end when she tries to pretend like she's on the same level as Naruto and Sasuke when she's nowhere near their level.
That meme where it was like 100% power to Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. That's in Team Power. Or Team 7 and 99.9% power, and it was just Sasuke and Naruto, and the caption was like, oh, I see. No, Sasuke lost his sword or something like that. And I was like, yeah.
Somebody said it would have been cool.
She really makes no difference. Like,
yeah, somebody said it would have been
oh my god,
cool.
Naruto and Sasuke are the 2 most powerful characters in the show, and then she wants to act like she's on their level. Like, you're not even top 10 powerful. Like, sit down.
Yeah, somebody said it would have been cool if she somehow...
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go on.
No, I was just saying, somebody came with a cool idea. I'm not sure how it would work, but it was just, I thought it would be interesting. She, even though I know it's a Kekkei Genkai and it was like unique to the first Hokage, if she could use wood style.
And that's the thing. It's not even technically unique to the first Hokage because Tobirama winds up with the same ability, but I think it's because, I could be wrong about this because Tobirama's not my favorite character, but like, wasn't he like imbued with cells from Hashirama, and that's why he has wood style or something like that?
You know,
I know he's not part of their family, but
all the people who use wood style are like imbued with Hashirama's cells, like Yamato and Madara. They both were like imbued with his cells, and that's what made them able to use his wood style. Because wood style is a Kekkei Genkai. It's like genetic and it's specific to him and his bloodline. Honestly. Right. Not even, like, the reason people even said that is because, like, Tsunade should have been able to use wood style. And that's honestly...
Yeah, because she's related to him.
Yeah, and this is how you tell he's such... And I can't believe we went on a Naruto tangent. But This is how you like how bad he was at trying to write woman, because she was the weakest of the bunch in that fight against Madara. And she didn't need to be, because she should have been able to use wood style. And you know how cool it would have been if it would have been in that fight if she was using wood style against Madara, using wood style with all those other Kage fighting Madara. Awesome. Like, she didn't need to be as strong as her grandfather. Was he her grandfather or great grandfather?
Hashirama.
He was grandfather.
I think he's her grandfather. I'm pretty sure, because like the thing about the Naruto like bloodlines is they're really not. It's not as far back as people think it is.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as far back as we think it is. But she didn't need to be as powerful as her grandfather. Just the fact that she could have just been a little bit more powerful than Yamato, and that would have been enough. It's supposed to be a genetic trait. Like, it should have been passed down onto her. Also, another time we're gonna have to do like a top.
And that's another thing.
A top 10 Naruto characters, like in terms of. Because I was thinking about that before. I was thinking about that, like, I think the other day, of just like top 10 Naruto characters. Because that's just the fun. It
would be Naruto, Sasuke, and then like 3 or 4 different Otsukis, and then just like.
Well, no, that's the thing.
From there,
I want to go like original series, like all the way up to the very end of Naruto before Boruto. Because honestly, I haven't watched much of Boruto. I kind of just fell off it eventually, and just I wasn't really feeling it.
Yeah, I don't like Boruto at all. They mistreat so many characters.
What was I going to say?
Yeah.
I think I was going to say something about Madara, but I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was Hashirama. Hashirama was so cool. Also, Hashirama, he would definitely be in like top 5. He was stupid, powerful. He was
for sure.
Like,
he and Madara were like basically equals before Madara got.
He was stronger than Madara. Like, he destroyed Madara. Like, they show it in that flashback. Yeah. Madara is on the ground beaten, and Hashirama he's a bit hurt, but he's far less hurt than Madara was. So it's very clear that Hashirama's strength in comparison to Madara's was vast. Like, they were close, but not.
By the time Madara got 10 tails, though, he was soloing the entire. Madara with the 10 tails was. Madara, insane. Madara,
he was soloing people before he got to 10 tails. The moment he showed up on the battlefield, he was running through everybody.
What was it? He was blind and still beat all 5 Kage. Killed almost. Well, he basically killed Naruto and Sasuke before they got their power from the 6 paths. He basically killed them.
Straight up killed them. That's such a big, that's such a huge anime trope of like around the end of the series, you kill the character and bring him back to life.
Yeah. And then he was blind the entire time. Like, people forget he was blind doing all of this. Like, he had no eyes.
And then, like, Guy is also dead. Because I'm going to have to cut that out. But he went to 8 gates and was, like, going toe-to-toe with Madara, even though it was for a short period of time because he was, like, dying. But Guy...
And then Madara, like, literally...
Like, Guy shot up the, like, power scale, like, in mere seconds. And also, like, it's always like Kakashi's chakra is so inconsistent, because before, when he used Kamui, he would like drain himself and like pass out, but then in the final fight he was
just like spamming it, like
even before Naruto started to share his chakra with everybody, Kakashi was still out here using the Kamui like it was nothing. I mean, I guess you could say
spam.
You could say maybe he got better. That could be an excuse, but like,
I feel like my whole thing is, I feel like that should just be like, that should have been something that they showed rather than it just being a thing. Like, you should have showed that he was like getting better with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Instead of
rather than he just like pop up in the final fight, just like, Kamui.
Yeah, because it was low-key wild. Naruto, Guy, and Kakashi were fighting all of the other Jinchuriki who also had a Sharingan and a Rinnegan by themselves, and they were holding, and Obito, by themselves, and they were holding their own. That is wild. It was those 3, just them.
Yeah.
And they were holding their own when they shouldn't have. In reality, they should have been destroyed.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, they should have been done. Like,
Naruto, for all its faults, it's really good. It's fantastic. it holds a lot of
Oh, yeah.
nostalgia in my heart. When I go back and listen, like every now and again, I think actually when I was like about a month ago, when I was cleaning the house, I listened to every single Naruto opening. Like while I was cleaning the house, I had Naruto. I had like a compilation of the Naruto openings playing on YouTube in the background, and I was just listening to that while I was cleaning up. And it just brings back so many emotions whenever I hear those Naruto openings. Early 2000s anime openings just have a feel to them that modern anime openings don't. They're still good. They aren't obviously not as nostalgic because they're newer, but like it was also just a different kind of sound. I feel like more anime opens were more kind of like punk rock in the early 2000s.